Today, we're talking about something that will free your mind, your emotions, your decisions, and honestly, your whole identity. Inner peace over outward validation. Because if we're honest, a lot of us have been conditioned to perform for approval, chasing applause, and measuring our worth by the reactions of other people instead of listening to the voice of God. But that season, sis, is ending today. Let's go. Hey sis, are you ready to gain tools and skills that will result in you fully living in and up to your God-given potential and purpose? Is it time for you to reclaim your identity, achieve time management hacks, and finally master greater self-discipline? Well, if that sounds like you are in the right place. Let's go. Look, I know we are all busy and we find it difficult to lean on others to help us. But I have an amazing Facebook community of women who show up for one another to encourage, inspire, and help each other to grow. We share tips, skills, and advice from our own personal experiences, plus so much more. So come join us at Jada Hartfield, Life and Success Coach. Can't wait to see you there. And also, I have recently created a journal called Reclaiming Your Identity that I truly believe will be instrumental to you on your journey. The link is in the notes. Go grab yours now. Welcome to a brand new episode of Unblocking Your Purpose. I am your friend, your girl, Jada. If you've been rocking with me, thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, I am definitely inspired to get out here every week and to show up, even when I may not be feeling well, when there's things going on. And let me tell you, all the things, right? I have all the things with my babies, my husband, businesses, working, all of that. But I really truly get joy when I get to spend a few minutes to just share what God has placed on my heart in the hopes that, it's helping at least one person. And if that is you, make sure that you're sharing this with someone else that it may touch because, hey, we are here to help each other. But if you are new, welcome. This is a safe space. It's a sacred space. It is a place where we just gather every Monday and just come and listen. And then we get out there in my community and just share, how we feel, our experiences, what we're going through to continue to inspire, encourage, motivate, uplift each other. So welcome if you are new. I definitely appreciate it. I do not take it for granted the time that you allow me to be up in your ear, or if you're watching me on the YouTube channels, in your face. So thank you. I just want to start with that because we are so busy with the holidays right now. And if you are a busy mama like me, you may be feeling maybe not appreciated, not seen, because we are the ones that are holding everything together. And so I just want you to know that you are seen, you are heard, you are felt, and you are not alone. You are not alone as you continue to push and do the things that helps life run. Because I know it's you, mama. I know. So with that, last week, if you caught it, cool. If you didn't, go back and listen to it. It was about success. How do you measure success? And it was great to hear from you all where you're at and what success looks like for you now. So to just kind of continue on that, in that vein, this episode is going to be about inner peace, okay? Because our inner peace versus the outward validation that most of us are seeking. And I am the same way. I am trying some new things out on my social media so that I can be, present and show up. And it's fun getting into this AI stuff. But we are just trying to make it. And for me, success right now kind of looks like that. I am showing up. I am doing the things that I feel that I'm called to do. So it doesn't mean that that may be what success is for me in 2026. We'll see, right? Because we are forever able to change. But in me doing those things and like putting out videos and trying something new, I am definitely out there seeing, are people liking it? Are they saying anything? So don't feel that you are, again, alone if you are looking for validation from other people. We are still human. We are still in this flesh. We are still in this body. And yes, while we are trying to grow closer to God, He understands and we get it that we are still human. And so we are going to have moments where, we're looking for those things, right? And it's okay. It's just that we don't need to be dependent on those things. We need to be depending on him, right? So I wanted to just kind of touch on that a little bit, because whether you hosted Thanksgiving, maybe you're going to host Christmas, maybe you're doing something for New Year's. Again, we are always like, oh, what are people thinking? What are they saying? Blah, 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 right? But if we are just really doing things out of the goodness of our hearts, doing things from a place of wanting to serve and wanting to show up, then we should also take, solace in that. Right? So anyway, this episode, because we're going to get in and get up out of here. Okay. So this episode, inner peace over outward validation. So let me ask you, how many times have you said yes to something when maybe you heard no whispered? Maybe you heard no, very loud. It was shouting at you like, no, 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 abort, turn around. But because we feel oftentimes that we have to do things, we don't want to hurt someone's feelings. We don't want to be talked about. I remember even with my babies when they were younger, I was like, man, if we don't go to every single birthday party they're invited to, then they're going to be ostracized, or they're going to get to school and they're going to be, feeling left out because we didn't go. So I was like making myself be that mom, like, oh, they have to show up and we have to do this. And let me tell you, I don't know, maybe I just got burnt out, or it finally hit me that we don't have to say yes to everything. And we've talked about this, right? That no is a sentence and a word. But being able to say no and feeling comfortable in that also shows our boundaries. It honors ourselves. It honors our energy. It honors our financial situation sometimes, right? Maybe that needs to go somewhere else that's going to help us to get further to the goals that we need to reach. But it's a way to honor yourself by saying no. And saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you mean. It doesn't make you anything negative. That I know, if you're like me, don't raise your hand, but if you're like me, that those negative thoughts, and the devil's in your ear, and oh, you're bad and you're selfish. And it does not mean that. So, when you hear or feel something stirring in you that's like, no, I don't need to do that, or I don't want to do that, just know that it is okay to not feel the need of what everybody else is going to say. Like, honor that inner peace and be okay with saying, no, we're going to pass. Nope, not this time. That is okay. How about this one? Because I definitely fit in this. When you feel like you're having to over explain yourself, like I find myself doing this at work, right? I'm going here because of this or that, always trying to explain the reason behind my choice and my decision. And sometimes it just is what it is. Nope, I can't do this, or I have to be here, or I can't make it to this. And that's it. That's all. Or even with our kids, right? Do you ever feel like you're over explaining to like a 5-year-old? And I'm like, why am I? No, it's just no. And they're sitting up here like, just negotiating with these little terrorists, right? But oftentimes, I think because we don't want to be perceived again in any sort of negative light, we feel like we have to show up and we have to explain and we have to over explain. And I am just giving you and me, not that we need it, but just some reassurance that we don't need to do that. We do not need to do that. Let me not say we on this part. I get so far ahead thinking, well, if I do this, they're going to think this. If I do this, they're going to say this. And I don't really know that to be true. So why am I stressing myself over that? People have the right to decide and to think whatever they want to think, react however they want to react. And then we get the choice to decide how we're going to then react to that, right? And so we are only in control of ourselves, what we say, what we think, how we react, how we act. So let's just kind of stay in our lane, right? Instead of getting into that of everybody else. So, we don't need to go into tomorrow, definitely not the next year, feeling like we owe somebody something. We don't. We owe it to ourselves to have that peace within ourselves. So keep that in mind. I'm also guilty of this. Do you ever, what's the game? Never have I ever. But I am the type, and when my daddy was still here with us, I would go to him. I would have a decision and I would go to him. I would go to my mom. I would go to my brother. I would go to, even as I got married, I would go to my husband. I would go to my girlfriends. I would go to my tight inner circle seeking validation for the decision I wanted to make, or over explaining why I'm wanting to make this decision instead of just going to God and hearing his voice and doing what he called me to do. I felt like they were going to validate what he already told me. So in that, I was being kind of disobedient and going around the world trying to validate what he has already told me to do. Is that you? All right, I'm raising my hand. That is me. And I'm trying to get better at understanding that he already knows. He goes before me. He already knows what I need to do. It is on me to listen to him and to step out and to be bold and be brave and be confident in him and in the abilities he's placed into me to accomplish what he's told me to go do. And I am going to challenge you, my friend, my sister, to go and do the same thing. Listen to him. Yes, it's good to seek counsel. The Bible talks about that. We should have good counsel, but sometimes we need to just listen to him and know and be obedient and do what he tells us to do. Okay. And I think that will bring us peace. And I think that will bring us closer to him when we hear his voice, because we know him. We hear his voice and we are obedient in doing that, and then we see the outcome, and then that's going to increase the peace that we have. It's going to increase the trust we have in him, and it's going to help us to continue to live in the purpose that we are here to serve. So one last one in this little blog. Do you ever, or have you ever felt like you have to make yourself small to make other people comfortable, feel better, feel reassured, but knowing that you're crushing yourself? We don't need to do that anymore, right? Not in a conceited way, not in an overconfident way, not in any of that, but just in we know who we are, we know whose we are, and we need to just act accordingly. And who we're meant to serve, who we're meant to, you know, inspire and encourage and all of that stuff, we will be placed in those rooms in front of those people, right? So don't shrink yourself to make other people feel good and then be trying to look for their validation. We're not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that. Let me not speak for you, but I would encourage you not to do that either, right? So as we continue to do these things, looking for other people to validate us, making us feel better about ourselves, liking all of this, it's great to get that, but that is not how we should be moving. That should not dictate the way in which we move. You know, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you with me? Let me know. So I just really want to encourage you, as I'm encouraging myself, that we need to show up so we have peace within ourselves, that the validation that really matters is coming from him because we are being obedient and walking in his purpose that he has for us. All right. So, you know, inner peace is really about alignment. And that goes back to being successful, right? Not defining it for you, but typically when we're successful, we're in alignment with what we're supposed to be doing, what he's given us, the talents that he's given us, the gifts that he's given us, the time he has given us to get after that purpose, to get after that mission, to get after that goal, right? So when we are able to align with all of those things that he's placed in our hearts, the desires of our hearts that he's placed in there, then that's really inner peace. Because we know we're flowing in that, we're walking in that, we are honoring him in that, and we're honoring ourselves, right? So when we are in alignment, you know, that's really true peace. So when your spirit and your choices, your boundaries that you've set, the energy that you have, and then who you are at your core, your identity, when all of that is in alignment, you are just a well-oiled machine. You are working and you're doing the things and you're doing it in a way that should be making you feel really super confident. Should be like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm meant to do this. Where people are looking like, man, you got it going on. And it's because he has given you all the tools that you need. He's giving you the abilities. He's giving you the idea. And now he's giving you all of that to accomplish it. And so now you're just, it's showing up in your actions, in your obedience, right? So I really think that that's really true inner peace, right? And so when we are not forcing things, when we are going with what he's telling us and what he's showing us, that inner voice, the Holy Spirit, when we're hearing things, seeing things, when you may be getting confirmation and validation from 3 different sources, but it's the same thing, right? That may be really big signs that, hey, I'm not forcing this. This is what's meant to be. This is what should be happening. When we also allow God to step in and like pivot us a little bit, we're sitting up here. If you're like me, type A, and it's like, I got to do this and this and this and this and this. I got to do it in this time frame. Great. It's great to have a plan, right? Yeah, it's great to have a plan. But when we allow him to come in and just orchestrate things and to move things and to place us and to position us, then that too is going to drive that inner peace. And it's helping us to get to where he wants us to be, and honestly, where we want to be, because that desire that we have is really in alignment with what he has for us, right? And so you're also in a position to honor your capacity. What can you handle? What can't you handle? And instead of like doing everything, instead of saying yes to everything, now you're operating in a flow of like, nope, I can do this because this works here. I have time for this. I have to make time for this, or I want to make time to do something else, or your kids or your family, the holidays, but you're doing everything in such a way that it's not a hard effort. Yeah, work is hard. Anything worth having is hard, but it should be done. We should be able to do these things in such a way that it actually brings us joy, along with the peace, along with the clarity and the understanding and just happiness, right? That we are doing what we've been called to do. So, don't continue to be doing things that you have not been called to do. Yes, we've talked about this all season. We prayed for things and we have these titles and we are so grateful for those things. To be a wife, to be a mom, to be a business owner, to be a good friend, to do all of these things. But let's not let ourselves get so placed in a box doing things that maybe aren't serving us anymore, that we stay stuck, because then we are burnt out, or we're frustrated, or we're upset, or we're, become resentful of these things. So, don't be putting on hats that were not meant for your head. Okay. We're not fair catching things that he never assigned to us. Also, as we are in this busy season, and my friend always says, she's like, girl, another busy day. Yes, I have a lot of moving parts, but I am also learning that there is a time to rest. And in resting, I am also doing the things that I need to do and want to do, because then I am refilling, refueling, recharging. So let us not get to a point where we're like, oh, I got to do everything. We're not called to, as we said in a few episodes back, he didn't call us to like just grind and grind and grind to where we're just so burnt out and we're not able to do anything. So, I think it's good to know, that inner peace. What is that? How does that look for you? How do you feel when you're getting, when you're accomplishing things, or seeing that, yes, you're getting a step closer to your purpose, your goal, your identity, and then hang on to those and build those. So we are not going to apologize for who we are, who we're becoming. We are not going to apologize for taking care of ourselves and taking care of the purpose or purposes even that he has for us. We're not shrinking anymore, okay? Sometimes my mom used to say, and I say this to my oldest now, and she knows too, like, what would Nana say? And my mom would say, sometimes the best response is no response. We don't have to be so quick to fire back. We don't have to be so quick to have an answer for everything. Sometimes there are answers and lessons in the silence, in the rest, in the peace. And that's going to give you some inner peace where you're not fighting all the time. There is a time and place for everything, right? But sometimes, let your silence speak for you. Be okay with that. Take a step back. Don't always have to engage, because that's also going to use energy that you you should be using somewhere else. Okay. And, overall, we want to choose God's affirmation. We want his approval. We want to know that we are in alignment with him and doing what he's called us to do, and for him to be like, well done, my good and faithful servant, right? And we don't want to have to wait to get to the pearly gates. We want to be doing that while we're here, using the talents that he's given us, having that peace, having his peace. What did Jesus say? That he left his peace, for us, with us, because the world's going to get crazy. And so we have to be so solid and so secure in that, so that we are showing up in a way that the world is going to be like, something's different with her. I don't know what it is, but we know what it is. And we really should be operating, I think, from that place. So, I'm laughing because my husband always says to me, Jada, you don't have to understand everything. And I'm like, well, if I'm part of it, I need to understand. Like, I'm asking all the questions. I need to know what the plan is, right? And so as I get a little bit older, I am learning that I don't have to understand everything. And here's the thing. Don't have to understand everything God gives me to be obedient to what he's telling me to do. And I bet a lot of times there's things that he's given us and we're like, what? This doesn't make sense, but I'm okay. We're going to go with it, right? And I think we have to feel confident in that too, secure in that, trust him, trust the process, and not feel like, okay, everything has to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G for us to move out and to do. So that's another challenge for you and for me. We don't need applause to feel worthy, to feel important, to feel validated. Yes, it's nice. I get it. It's nice. But if that's what we're working towards and that's what we're working for, then we're going to probably most likely be more frustrated and upset than if we are doing things because he's told us to do it, because we want to do it. Because no matter if someone is letting us know or not, we never know who's watching us. We never know who's listening, but we also don't know who we're impacting. So just do the work unto the Lord and let other people take what they can use, let go of what they can't use. And if they appreciate it and let you know, that's just icing on top of the cake, right? So as I wrap this up, I just want you to know you don't have to have a lot of people or a crowd for your calling, for your purpose, as you're working toward unblocking your purpose. If you got my journal, reclaiming your identity, you don't need all of the thousands of people to be looking at you of what you're doing. You just do what you're called to do. Be obedient. Do what he's called you to do. And then if that is supposed to come, then it will come. And if it doesn't, you're still doing what you're supposed to do. All right. So I want you to feel peace this season. I want you to go into 2026 feeling strong and confident and secure in who you are, whose you are, what you want to get after, who you're becoming, reclaiming your identity, and, continuing to unblock the purpose. And once you've unblocked it, then we're working at getting after it. All right. So that is what we are going to start leaning into for the next year. I have one more episode as we go into Christmas week, and then I'll probably take the week off for my birthday because I'll be the big 45 on New Year's Day. But then we're going to be hot and open and transparent and ready to go for 2026 because we have work to do. You and me, we have work to do. And so in order to do that work, we have to continue to make sure that we are showing up in our best. All right. So until next week, take care, find that peace, continue to have your boundaries, set them, and let's see what your success looks like at the end of the holiday season. All right. Until later next week. Love you. Bye. Okay, lady, now's your turn to go check out the Facebook community and grab your journal, Reclaiming Your Identity, if you haven't already. Your future self will thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly hope that you've enjoyed this episode. If so, would you do me a favor and take about 30 seconds and share it with a friend, a sister, a mom, or any woman that you know is also ready to unblock their purpose? And if you could also please leave a quick review for the show wherever you're tuning in from, that would be great. It really motivates and encourages me to know that I am walking in my purpose and helping you. After all, we are better when we come together. All right, sis, until next Monday, remain blessed and continue taking steps to unblock your purpose. Bye.